Monkey fists from marbles to baseballs can be made with this very simple jig. And I'm going to show you how to build it. The tools you'll need: piece of scrap wood. I think this is 1 inch. This just happens to be 5 and a, it's supposed to be 5.5 by 5.5. A pencil to mark the lines. A square to mark the lines. Okay, I'm going to mark here 45 degrees and mark here 45 degrees. Find the center and then go perpendicular. And since it can be confusing, I've marked the diagonals with black and the vertical and the horizontal with red, so that I can space the holes. The other thing I did is for the smaller objects like a marble, that's a 3/4 inch ball bearing, or something like this thing here, I use these rods that I've made out of, came up with this multi-purpose 9-gauge wire, shined it up with a little bit of sandpaper. You can cut it with some bolt cutters or a hacksaw, and that's for the smaller builds. It's for the big ones, starting with the golf ball, I use the 3/16 inch dowel rod. You want something that's substantial enough, but yet it's not going to get too big. The great thing about using a jig or a rig like this is that when you put the thing in there, you can see it's tight, and so when you're running around the cord, by the time you get all the wraps done, you're pretty much there. Here's an attempt to freehand, and you can see it's kind of messy. Wasn't real happy with the outcome. Sometimes it's not evenly spaced. Some people are really gifted at it and they can do a great job, but that's not me. I got to use the simple tools, the jigs, things like that, so that they come out more like that, and this, and this, and this, and the mother of all monkey fist made out of the baseball. How did I figure out where these lines would go? Took things like the marble and I measured them. You know what, quite frankly, in this case it's even easier to go with millimeters. So then I figured out what that would be. I measured it out here where the center is. I halved the measurement on either side, gave a little bit of room for the rod or the dowel so that the things fit in there nice and square, and then I drilled a hole. I marked it first with this great little device. You just put it right there on the line. When you figure out where you're going to go, pop it and it makes a little divot, and then that's where you drill. The drills I used for this build was a 9/16 for the rod and a 3/16, same size as the dowel, for the dowel, and it was a little small, so I had to work it through a little bit. It's okay if you have it a little bit wobbly. See, they're not completely ultimately tight, but you just want something that you can present. I was also going to double it up, make it real fancy, glue that down. But then I said, nah, you know, I'll just go with a little duct tape on the back. Then I used some little electric tape on the sides to give it a little bit of character. And I could actually, I guess I could finish that up. But it's a working piece of gear. Another tool, just happens to be from Harbor Freight. I got it for 10 bucks. It's worth its weight in gold. Is this measuring device. I've used it on many builds. You can put the thing in there like that. You can get really close to what the center is. This is probably about as big as you can get to go with on a center. And then you can go with millimeters. Half that, go on either side. There's the measurement there. Measurement on either side. Mark it, drill it, and you're off to the races. You want it, when you get it in there, actually put black on there because I beveled the outside here to help them fit in. Golf ball. Once again, boom, ready to go. Here's the baseball. It's the farthest one. Boom. Okay. And on the baseball build, I used the 12-inch dowel rods just to give me a little extra space. I could have built it with the 6-inch, but it would have been a little dicey. And you probably could take it all the way out. Once again, just figure out what you're going to build. Here's a lacrosse ball. Maybe a little too small for that. So I'll go to the black. Just slightly bigger, and boom. Perfect. Now I can build a monkey fist out of this lacrosse ball. It's got some weight to it. Good to go. I'm going to do a whole series of monkey fist builds now that I got this this jig or rig, because it makes it just so easy. I knocked this one out in probably 10 minutes. This one a little less than 10 minutes. So let's talk a little bit about cordage. You can go thick on it, but I kind of like the details that come out with more wraps. This is actually beading cord that you've seen in probably other builds of mine. This is 90-pound paracord. This right here, which is 5/32. By the way, 10 feet of cord to make this monkey fist with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wraps. 19 feet, a little more than 19, to wrap a baseball with 1/4 inch nylon cord. This probably about 4 feet, 5 feet. A little less for this, maybe 4 feet, to give you a little bit of a gauge. I'll try to post the information when I do the builds. There you go. Build any size monkey fist from marble to baseball with this simple rig, simple jig. And look for the YouTube video where I use this jig to build this. Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated.